live, direct. That's what's up.
Direct, that's right.
And blessed to be here, man. Thank you, David, so much, man.
Yeah.
This is so dope.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys for coming out. You know, I got Zach and Steamer in the studio this afternoon.
In the building, following up all these blessed artists who've been in here, just like you've been representing Humboldt County hip hop so well. I'm such a fan.
Thank you, man. Yeah. It's a bunch of dope artists around here to rap, you know what I mean? And to, go out there and interview you guys is a blessing for me, so thank you.
That's what's up. And just shout out to all the artists on here. I gotta be like early with my shout outs on this because I got like a lot of people. I'm like, yo, I gotta straight up make sure they know like I'm repping. But Highway on here, Naquan, Dirty Rats, freaking Assad from Rude. I don't even know those guys, but all these guys, Humboldt County hip hop, I love it. Like I love what the scene is becoming. I'm a huge fan, and I'm not the type to be like just telling you that. I'm not reaching out like I'm busy and doing my thing, but I am rooting for Humboldt hip hop. Every time somebody drops something, I love to see it shine. I love when it sounded dope. I'm banging that. Like I listen to more Humboldt County hip hop, like currently this past probably year than any other hip hop, honestly.
Because I don't have time to listen to anything else. There's so much good shit coming out. It's like I'm just waiting for the next stuff to come out, and I'm all excited about it.
Yep.
And then you try to tell other people about it, and they're like, who? And you're like, you gotta listen to this local stuff. It's good. It's real quality hip hop coming out, and it's like cohesive these days. It's like not everybody's all clicked up or anything anymore. It's all, and thanks to you and Goldilocks, these tight DJs bringing everybody together. It's really cool seeing the scene kind of evolve.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like on the younger end of the spectrum, I'm a teacher in schools, and like I have this unique perspective because some of these kids who are doing it now, like hungry, and they're putting out music Rowdy. Not Louie, for example. Those are two guys who I work with as a teacher at Zane.
Exclusive,
man. I didn't work with him personally,
but he's a young gun.
But these dudes are doing it, and I love seeing these guys do it. I gotta shout out to the True Astro. He moved out of here, but that's DJ. He's throwing it down. He's hungry. These guys are young. I think he's going into like 10th grade. We got the erratic specialists out there. Caleb, I see you. You guys, I'm checking you out. I'm supporting you.
Yeah.
And like even crews like City Hippie, like I don't know those guys, but they're doing it, and it's dope. And like I got my eye on everybody. Like it's positivity. And it's love, and like I'm like on a spiritual way, heart way, mental way, spreading the word. Like I am holding it down for you guys, and you guys, what you do, it inspires me. And one reason that like I keep doing this, and why I just want to be making dope shit, dope music, is so that I'm an asset to this community, and then I get to collaborate with these people who I respect. So it's like, I got to do my part. And so that the kids have a platform too. The more genuine, legit, and dope that I am, the more I can help put these kids on who are coming up in the schools. I got a network. They can tap into this network, a dope shit going on. And then show us, like take the lead. Like, so it's bigger than just me trying to just do it for Area Sound and us and my music. It's like, I'm all about that bigger kind of vision and perspective of like being part of a community of artists. So,
that's how you know that love for hip hop is in your heart, man. You're really in it for hip hop.
Straight up.
Of course, this community's gonna benefit.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things that I think is beautiful about hip hop is that it always involves giving back to the community, whether it's even just through the bars and the music and painting the pictures for people to connect with. There's always people. You just gave a shout out to Highway. Like Highway and a bunch of dudes go out there on the Pack Out Green Team and clean up the city.
That's right.
What I mean? Like that's hip hop.
That's what's up.
No doubt.
And Highway was honestly one of the most supportive of us. Like early on, was like we didn't really fit into the whole weed kind of scene or rap up here. Like we just kind of didn't.
We were both teachers.
We were
both teachers. We were both educators. I worked with the Gang Risk Intervention Program in Eureka with a lady named Simona Keat, who, if she's listening, big shout out, because she's like my lifetime hero. And through her, I got exposed to a whole different side of Humboldt County and see how people were living. But I grew up 2 miles down the road on Laura Lane, Indianola Cutoff, and so for a guy like me to to get to the point where now I'm sitting here on the Humboldt Hip Hop podcast, I really have to pay tribute to the original fathers of hip hop, because it's a privilege for me to be able to do this, because my background, I was not born into hip hop, and so it's like I've got to earn a little spot in it. I mean, I still always feel like I'm not worthy, because I got to keep working on my craft and make sure I stay true to what hip hop originally was. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't be seen as someone who's just using somebody else's vessel. I got to actually make good quality stuff, or else maybe I don't deserve a spot on that on that stage.
And I'm really glad you said that, Steve, because that's something that Ian just got into as well. It kind of flows back to something that Highway said on this podcast a few episodes ago, is that you gotta give respect to the people that created this foundation.
That's right. Yeah, otherwise
I think you just did that. You have been doing that.
Yeah, I try to. I try to, and I keep it in mind. I feel like Brother Ali always makes a point of pointing that out. He's got one song, and it's a railroad tracks metaphor, and it's just don't disrespect the people who laid the tracks. And it's I feel like I have earned somewhat of a spot at the table, but man, I'm still looking up at most of the people in the game. You know what I'm saying? I got a long way to go, but I love doing it.
And that just means you gotta love to still keep going.
Yeah, for sure. No, never stop.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Well said, man. Well said. Appreciate that, Steam.
Sure.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Well, I want to get into some of you guys' influences if we can. Maybe get into your roots with how you started making music, and when you guys maybe started collaborating.
Oh yeah.
The origin. Yeah. That's the beauty of being here and doing this. We get to tell our story.
That's a really good story how you guys connected. I always enjoy listening to that one.
Well, I've always, since I was a little kid, writing has been my number one strong point in school. I was a good student. I was a 4.0 student, high school, college, everything. But since I was a little kid, all I wanted to do, if there was a poetry assignment, I was going to rhyme. And I could write my ass off my whole life and just dazzle the teachers, and I got a big rush out of that. Any assignment they gave me, I was going to take it and go above and beyond what they gave me.
And do something clever, too.
It was do something clever, do something pushing the envelope, make the teachers a little uncomfortable, Say
that essay that your teacher swore you.
Oh yeah. It was in high school, honors English, sophomore year at Eureka High. We read Othello, and I honestly wasn't that into the story. The tests were super. I didn't do that well on the test because I wasn't reading that closely. But then I got the term paper, which was the whole grade. Got to write the 10-page essay, and so I chose sexual innuendos in Othello, and I wrote the whole thing. And as a sophomore in high school, I hadn't even had sex at that point, but I wrote the whole thing about it. And I just crushed it. And I was using, I always wrote with the thesaurus because you don't want to repeat yourself. And I don't think the teacher even knew who I was at that point, because all my tests had probably been C's, and he hadn't seen any of my writing.
Right.
And I get everybody. He would write a typewriter response to everybody, and then put their grade on the bottom. This teacher was legit. He still lives in Eureka. He was a awesome teacher, Mr. Miller. And but I remember I get this little 6-line response. And I'm looking at everybody else's. They got a whole page, and all he writes is, either you didn't write this, or this reads, or this reads like a PhD dissertation.
Okay.
Words like lubricity and all these vocabulary words I use. He's this doesn't speak to the vocabulary of a 10th grader. And I remember just being dude, I wrote this all the last day before it was due, and
I think that's a compliment.
And he's so since this is a story about honesty, be honest with me and tell me whether you wrote this. Otherwise, 1950 out of 2000 and I was all nervous because I walked up to him. I wrote this, and he just kind of oh yeah, whatever. And then I got, and dude, But yeah, so whatever. I'm going too far on that. But
Sorry, I love that story too.
but
but let's just get
let's
this
just
like
start with that.
Steamer's a dope writer.
love
like
for writing.
Straight up amazing
Love for writing, and I kept it going. Bunch of my
Hands down.
professors at HSU always told me like I should just focus on writing, be a writer, but I just never did it. But then like early on, of course I liked hip hop. I was growing up in the '90s, like so much good shit. You're growing up here, you hear Snoop and all the Bay Area stuff and Too Short, and like you're listening to it. Of course I listened to all of it, Wu-Tang, but I was also growing up with like country, growing up around here. You're little redneck kids, all their dads were hunting, and like
It's rural.
it's rural, and so I liked rap. But then I had this buddy who finally turned me in high school. His name's Nathan McQueen, and when we were at HSU, we used to go by DJ Sour Sauce. You ever know him?
I heard that name.
He used to be rock parties when we went to HSU.
I think the Rats dropped it.
The Rats, yep.
Yeah.
He was the original Rats. He was part of it.
Oh,
and
dope.
then he went and got an audio engineering degree from Dominguez Hills, and he's down doing big work down
But
in LA.
he just dropped his first Nathan McQueen
McQueen, check him out. Really,
in video, and it's really
and
dope.
he's a Ferndale local. This guy grew up in Ferndale.
That's what's
But
up.
him and his brothers all went to high school in Eureka, and so that's where I got to know him. And he was the first person to ever turn me on to like hip hop. Like he started feeding me these mixtapes of I never heard of it, but that's where I started listening to Outkast. And man, when I started listening to Outkast as a ninth grader, that's when I was like, oh damn, this is still to this day my favorite stuff. Their first 3 albums.
Yeah.
So Nathan really turned me on to like real hip hop, not just what you see on MTV and on the radio. He started showing me like the good stuff, and that got me real interested. And then I had no musical background. I started just penning rhymes like all the time, but I had no idea how to write to a beat. I was just writing, no beat, never writing rhymes. And like me and my friends all grew up out in Freshwater. We called ourselves the Freshwater Creek Mob. And none of them wanted to rap or anything, so I would just write raps for all of them in hopes that and I'd write all their verses in hopes that we could record something, but I had no idea how to like fit it to a beat or anything. I had no musical background, and that was my early days. But I wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote.
Putting the pen to the paper, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was locked in, obsessed with hip hop at that point. And like coming into college, and that's when we should switch over to Zach, and because then we'll
so that's where our stories kind of converge, right?
Yeah.
So I'll try to be brief, but I'm from San Diego, and I have like a lot of brothers. I got 2 brothers, 2 stepbrothers, adopted brother. Just love all you guys, like my brothers. But having brothers 5 years older than me, my brother Gabe and Dalton, they were listening to hip hop. As teens, my brother's just super musical.
Family.
Both the whole family musical. Everybody plays instruments on my dad's side of the family. Incredibly musical. My dad plays guitar. He's always played guitar. And so I'm listening to. I didn't even know how much I love hip hop until I was young, maybe like 2nd grade when I got into it. 2nd, 3rd grade, listening to Wu-Tang Clan. Their 36 Chambers came out. METHOD, man. Hey, you get off my cloud. I'm just like, what is this? Like, it moved me. I was like, I like this music a lot. And then, all that West Coast stuff, like Snoop, Mac Dre, like that whole kind of gangster stuff. Like, I was young, but that's what my brothers were listening to.
That's what everybody was listening
to. It is what everybody was listening to. So, that's how I was exposed to it, but really wasn't until I was about 15. 16, I don't even know what to say was, but it had some kind of spiritual awakening. Like, so we're not talking drugs here or anything like that, but just, I don't know, it's just like I felt like I could see for a minute. And that's when I started freestyling.
Yeah.
So I didn't really start writing. It would be typically usually it'd be like some Wu-Tang joint would be on, and just these ill voices coming in. Everybody's these dope styles. And I would just start dropping in. Like doing homework in my room, and, I'm getting like older, like I'm dating, I got issues, I got beef with my brothers, stuff, political stuff with the world, and that's how I would express like my anger, my joy, my confusion, and I would blow myself away that I could just take off and just tear over these beats. And then my buddy Corey, he started playing guitar. And he gave me 4 tracks. We were recording on a tape back then. So he recorded his guitar jams on a tape. And I wrote, these are like my first songs. I wrote 4 songs. And they're pretty silly and fun and just a lot of energy, like doing different voices. And we ended up putting a band together. Because my brother was already in the band. We like borrowed some people from his band. My buddy just pretended he could play bass, and we got 3rd place in Battle of the Band. So that's like my very first hip hop was like live band, hip hop, rocking that shit in front of the high school. They're like, who's this funny ass white boy just on the mic? But I was just like, just tearing that shit up. Like I just loving it, just energetic and like, that's just how I got started. And then a couple years later, as I'm finishing maybe my senior year of high school, my brother who's been in the band, singer, songwriter. He goes by Nine Theory.
He knows Nine Theory.
Dude, Nine Theory, he's just like dedicated himself to music every freaking day of his life since he was like 12 years old. Dropped out of college, like right away, he's just music. Like he got his first setup. My dad, we got an iMac computer. I was like, whoa, we got a Mac? And he got Reason, started making beats. And he took a recording engineering class at the community college, a class I would later go on to take. And he got Pro Tools. And all of a sudden, there was like a mic and my bros dropping beats. And I started, at this point, I'm hanging out, like we got some just like characters of MCs. Like D-Rec, D-Nutty, Lion Lou, Lil J, Juice. Love you guys, man. The freaking crew. Like, we put a group together. We call ourselves the Beatniks. And we just made an album. So this is how I kind of was finishing high school. And it's just crazy flows left and right. And because I had a best friend up here in Humboldt, that album made it up here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Steamer got a hold of it. So I had one fan when I moved up here.
Oh, shit.
I came up here. Some people come up here to go to school. They say, I just came up here because, like...
No, tell them how we met. We got to tell that story.
So
yeah.
good.
Okay, well, you're in the one...
The quick
origin.
Want me to get back to it?
Get back to it.
So,
You take over.
So
right?
at this time, I'm an HSU student. A bunch of my buddies had left town to go off to college and stuff. And my cousin, Michael, love you, he had moved out from Texas. And they had a little family cabin up right on the beach in Big Lagoon. And they still got it. It was just, and so shit, we're 19, 20, and he moves out, no rent, gets to live right on the beach, and so that became our spot. I spent all my time there in my 20s. It was the shit,
Heck yeah.
And so I started making friends with all these guys at HSU while I was going there. Long story short, one of them happens to be Zach's best buddy from Encinitas, and so
Cole,
we started partying with those guys, inviting them up for parties and everything. And back then, my cousin and I, one of our favorite things to do while we were sitting around drinking beers and hanging out was just put on beats and freestyle, just the two of us, So we would just freestyle all night and had nothing, no TV up there or anything. So it was just all night, just going to town. And at this point, I'd actually kind of figured out how to rap to a beat, and like I was putting it together, but I still wasn't recording or anything like that or working with anybody. And Zach happened to, the year after he graduated high school with zero backpacking experience, decided he was going to have his dad drop you off?
No. I took a Greyhound bus.
Yeah.
My dad was nice enough to call and be like, is there a shuttle? Can you get this guy to the border? So I took a Greyhound up.
It's dropped off at the Oregon border with the intention of hiking back to San Diego on the
to Mexico. I tried to walk from Oregon to Mexico.
It's so crazy.
That's its own story.
Hey, so we're sitting there. We have a party, and Cole, our mutual friend, he's like, "Oh, my buddy Zach's in town hiking down the trail," and so Zach ends up at our party around the freestyle table and just proceeds
with
to
the backpack on
while hiking the Pacific Coast.
While hiking the Pacific Coast Trail.
Yeah, exactly.
You
went the California Coastal Trail.
Yeah, you think this guy has energy now? You should have seen him at 19. He was like a powder, just like a spark, that just, had so much energy, and he just came to this party and sat down and just went to town. And I had put two and two together. I was already listening to his album that he and his brothers and all his buddies had recorded. I loved it. And at the time, I was in the teaching credential program or right after that, when you moved up here, I was in the teaching credential program at
the next
HSU.
year.
And that was the first. We got this assignment, and it was like doing a form of art that you're not like trained at or something. And so I wrote this rap to a beat for my class. Did GarageBand.
Was that the instrumental beat from our album?
Yeah, it was. I used this instrumental that was on
one track on the album was just an instrumental.
Yeah, and I used that. Yeah, you're right. I forgot that.
Okay, so that was like the connections, because I sat down in front of James Benoit's.
Yep.
And in your car,
I showed it to you.
And you put that beat on. He had the CDs, and you did the rap, and I was just like, the rap was dope.
I can't remember how it went. Yeah,
I just remember something about Barry Bonds in there. And from that moment, I was like, because first of all, I was just blown away that you liked our music.
Oh, I loved it.
I was like, this dude really freaking loves what we're doing. And I heard you rap. I was like, dude, Steamer can rap. And the main thing I really, really, really appreciated always about you was just the fact that, like, your philosophy that you were driving the white van, working with the gang risk intervention program. It was like positive. And I was like, this dude is making a difference. Like, this is a dude like I could look up to. Like, I'm trying to do this kind of thing. Like, I really respect you so much.
I was in deep with the kids back then.
Him driving the white van.
Shout out to all the kids I worked with back in the day. One of whom was Assad from Rude.
Crazy.
Yeah. He was the only kid I worked with that just had a notebook 24/7. I probably met him when he was 16 at Eureka High. And living with his sister down on like Garland or something off of Boone. And I used to bring those kids home all the time, give them rides. Like, we'd do activities after school, and I just make sure they got home safe, brought them out of their houses, and I was just involved, with whatever Simona and my boss wanted me to be. So I was tight. But Assad, shout out to him, and it's awesome to see where he's come from back then. He was already so committed to hip hop. Like, he had a notebook full, and he was the only kid around rapping. Nobody else was doing anything, and he was already just like writing bars. He was good. You could tell. Yeah, it was cool to see that he stuck with it, and now he's thriving. Man, he's killing it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I love seeing kids grow up around here, because like I'm still in touch with tons of them, and sometimes it's a sad story, you see them, but most of the time these kids are doing good, and it's good to see. Yeah. So back to it. So Zach gave me the confidence that you could say the stuff I wanted to say and still sound tight and not corny. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a fine line. Because I can't front like I'm living that lifestyle when I'm not. I'm working with kids. I'm in the just on the scene. I'm not hard, anything. And I didn't know how to do that in rap. And then Zach drops this album, and I'm like, oh, that sounds tight.
I think I had a solo.
Everything sounds super good.
I put out,
and he's saying what I would say if I had, was recording. And so it gave me a big confidence boost when I heard him. And so and
you believing in me was a confidence boost for me too, because I put out the Mystic Mentor. Like my solo album. I think I fucking that's the OG right there.
Oh, he should hear this.
In the Divine River. I don't know. That stuff would probably embarrass the heck out of me now. But you believed in it, and when someone hears your music and they're like, man, you're saying what I want to say. Like, I'm feeling that. It's affirming. And it was just a mutual respect I think we had for each other. It was clear that the kind of hip hop that I wanted to make, the things I wanted to say, that we could amplify each other and pump each other up in the level that was like real to us, being who we are, like make each other stronger people. It's all based on just like being real. I have respect for hip hop. Respect for the art form, respect for each other, and stronger together. It was like, man, we come together and it felt good having someone on stage. Like when we got to that level, like, wow, like he believes in me. He'll learn my lyrics. Like I say his his writing, like Steamer's writing I always was like, damn, this fool's a better writer than me, man. It's like straight up. He makes me. I have to elevate. So Steamer lifted me up. I lifted him up. And we had Cody Khan was a local.
Oh, yeah. Cody Khan,
man.
He needs big love.
I met him at College of the Redwoods, and we had the Spanish class together. I was living in the woods in a tent.
He's another Eureka local. I went to school with him and his brother, Eureka High.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, the Kimes, West Kime, all you guys, man, Mike, man, all you guys.
Yeah.
But like, so I was working with Cody, and he had the studio set up, and he's a genius.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. He's just a
PhD,
genius.
stem cell doctor.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not joking.
No, we're not
No,
joking.
he's like a crazy scientist.
Yes.
He worked in the lab for the Nobel
Yeah.
Prize winning.
He was in the CIA before I even met him. He done crazy. What? Well, he does. I mean, he had done crazy. He's a crazy dude and full of love. This dude's got the biggest heart. He invites me to his house. He's like, "Oh, you got bars? Like, cool, dude." We put a song together with Be Real. I don't even know what happened to that guy.
There's not the Be Real, and there's not Be Real.
No, it's different.
Yeah,
Brad. Anyway, so we invited Steamer over to Cody's, and we put a song together called "The Message."
Yeah.
That was our first track we did together. And the beat was like hard. It was like slapping. And I remember someone used it for some kind of commercial thing they were doing.
Yeah.
But that was it, man. We got together in the lab with Cody. We recorded our first joint. We made a 4-song EP.
Yep. Seeds of Change.
Called Seeds of Change.
Yep.
And then my brother came up. And my brother, he's just a badass. Nine Theory, like he's just like no shortcuts, perfectionist, like he if he didn't like your shit, he's gonna tell you. He's nothing, just like straight up. And he happened to come up when we had booked the quad.
Oh yeah,
at HSU.
That was our first shows.
Oh my gosh.
The quad at HSU.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
At the campus. So we're up there rapping. People walking by like, who the fuck
are these
these
dorks?
guys? But my brother was there. My dad was up in town too, I think. And after the show, my brother was like, "You guys," because I think we were rapping on some beats he had thrown our way. He was like, "You guys need to come to San Diego, and we need to record an album." Like, he was like feeling it, like. And so we was at 2009.
2009.
Yeah, we did it that summer, man.
Leanne and I were a new couple back then.
But I think I sang on the. I think that quad show was there too. We sang that song, the cool one. We haven't sung it in a long time. The one.
Which one?
The Education.
I can't tell you what goes on.
In my eyes, I try to
That's on
find
that
a
album.
way every time.
You were there for at show number 1,
Yes.
I think she was, yeah.
And we were. I remember that quad show.
Wow.
Yep.
So this is area sound here. But we haven't rep, Empress Lee like yet on the mic enough. Like she's here, and like if you've ever seen us live, you know that she takes the show to a whole new level.
Oh, yeah.
Leanne is like a straight artistic just beast, like powerhouse,
And
singer, songwriter, painter, just like
nurse,
Mother. Yeah.
daughter, sister.
Yeah. I am really thankful,
Sexy as hell.
and I love seeing you guys create your music. I'm happy to just be along for the ride. I'm happy that you guys embrace me into the group. And okay, so I'm Empress Lee. I started singing on the quad.
No, you started singing in the choir.
I started singing in the choir. I'm Filipino. We love karaoke. That's not a stereotype. It's real.
it's that love is real.
The love is real. And I sang in a choir. Grew up in a choir. My parents were in a choir. Anyways, met Steamer, the white van. Him driving around in the white van was a real.
We met through that job.
Yeah, we met
She
through
was
that
teaching
job.
hip hop to the girls after school. She was in D Squad.
I was in D Squad. Oh yeah. D Squad, HSU, Demolition Dance Squad, hip hop. We danced halftime.
Thank you, Marisol.
Thank you. Yep.
Oh, yeah,
So
connecting you
D
two.
Squad captain. What year was that? 2000.
When we met? 2008.
2008. Anyways, hey Monica, hey Sierra, hey Kelly. But yes. So anyways, Steamer and I got together. He rapped. The first time he ever rapped for me was we were at Cafe Mocha in the hot tubs.
Oh, yeah,
and I had no idea that he wrote rhymes, and he was like, "Hey, can I show you something?" And
I was
like,
real
"Okay."
shy about showing it to anybody.
This was
funny.
before
Like, took me a long
you guys
time.
had recorded anything.
Yeah.
And so he showed me, and I was like, "Wow, that's amazing." I had no idea. Anyways, so then you guys started doing putting.
We
your
must have been working with Cody and like
Yeah.
doing
But it was like
yeah.
right before, because I remember before Seeds of Change came out. Like I remember when you guys had that idea and started doing it, And then you guys started doing like some shows here and there, and then would ask me to maybe throw some vocals, you know.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely started just singing along a little more, and then on Squeeze the Elephant, I got my song on there.
Lifted, baby.
Singing more choruses, and like I think we're officially
You're in.
on my merriest sound. And
like we're just better or stronger with you, you know.
Well,
I
I always knew she could sing, but I didn't realize how good of a songwriter she was.
Right.
That's what blew me away is when you started writing songs, and I was like, oh damn, she's way better than me.
Well, I feel like the Humboldt Fugees over here.
The Humboldt Fugees.
Wait, I gotta go back. I gotta rewind a little bit because we gotta just to emphasize how dope Humboldt County is.
Yeah.
Zach's from Encinitas, which ain't a bad place either, but he got to see the whole state on it because he kept hiking after that first night. He didn't just stay here.
Oh.
And then he got to see the whole state, and he got home, and he's like, what do I want to do with my life? And sure enough, next thing you know, he's back. He moved right up here.
I had a major connection.
And then when he was, this is a lot of people are going to remember this when they hear this.
Okay.
When Zach came up, he didn't want to pay rent. So he lived in the community forest in a teepee that he built for himself, way the hell up in Fern Creek.
Yeah, it was a half an hour walk from campus, like in retrospect.
Coldest winter
somewhere a little closer.
One of the heaviest duty winters I can remember.
Oh.
And he was up there, we'd be partying, and then Zach would be like, better put on the rain gear, heading back up home. And he'd go sleep up in the woods. And he spent the whole winter out there. And he was also a full-time student at CR, so he'd get up in the morning and go hitchhike.
I had to hitchhike every day to get to school. So
now, that's Humboldt, and you weren't even from Humboldt. Man.
No.
I'll tell you, I felt like, in a way, I've always felt like a little bit like a bridge between different, like, kind of communities in Humboldt. Like there's like Steamer and these local dudes, and they accepted me and that made me feel like, okay, I could live in Humboldt. These local dudes, like, they accept me. But then I was on the streets too. I didn't have a home, so like if I was, you know, if I was either walking home to the woods or, you know, and so like I knew like street people. I would jam with like Daryl was another dude who would just be on the sidewalk with his guitar, and like we would jam. But then I knew people at College of the Redwoods because I would hitchhike and go to school there every day. But then my best friend was at HSU, and I was down like they had, and it's always just kind of been like that. I guess for me up here, that like I don't know, like I work with the kids in the schools. I'm up with what the kids are doing. Like Brian Swislow had the Red Fox back then, and we would do shows there. Yeah. So like I kind of got
Mr.
in.
Red Fox.
Like just, oh man, you're so
good.
Savage Henry's dope though too.
Yes.
Right?
Really dope actually.
Yeah.
They're doing hip hop night now. Mondays.
Hey, when are you gonna go to that?
I think it's something about being vulnerable, just kind of living in the woods like that. It's like I had to just be very friendly and open to meeting people. Be like, hey, we're going here. You want to go? I was like, yes, I'll go. I have no car. I have no home. I'm going. I'm going with you. I'm going with you. I know you. I know you. And the county, I just felt like it just got me. Like I just dropped here and just like soul family, and I was just like
we got you, and we're keeping him. You know, keep him here. Don't let him move.
So yeah, so like our album release when we made that album in San Diego was at the Red Fox.
Oh yeah,
and you know, just like big shout out to Brian Swislow for just holding it down for artists and doing that. Like I've always felt like, oh man, these guys have like a scene going, and this whole Southern Humboldt thing is like, I was like, man, like
I've been watching those guys for my whole young life, you know, like rocking it. Way before I was a rapper, I was watching Subsab and all those dudes just crush it. Like never thinking I could be like that or do anything like that when at the time. But
and I think our sound was a bit, you know, like just kind of different. And so like it didn't make sense to go the route of trying to like embed myself into that. And going the teaching route has always been an interesting thing for me as an artist, working with kids, because I have administrators, I have parents, I have school board members, and I have people who pay attention to what I say and what I do. And at the end of the day, I'm free. I'm an artist. I'm going to do what I need to do. But also, I'm providing for my family. And I'm deeply passionate about being an educator. I go every day, I show up at work. It's like I'm either blessing these children's life or I'm causing some kind of damage. There's not a whole middle ground there. You know what I'm saying? As an adult there with the kids, and I'm just a very dedicated, creative, passionate educator. So it's like Fat Bowl, for example. That's what I was saying. It's like, man, it's like I had come up just repping Fat Bowl, right? Like I had just mixed feelings about like the weed culture, and that's me. That's my own pressure I put on my mind. Maybe I should, not care about other people's judgments. But let's face it, when you're a teacher,
you're a public
you're
figure.
kind of in the spotlight. So like I've been real quiet these last couple years about certain things, like music that I've done, a couple NFT projects and things, just because I didn't necessarily want what I was talking about in those songs to people to think like that was necessarily like the message that I was putting out to the kids or something. Like those were like creative works for specific projects and things. And just you gotta be careful, like being at a new school and
not having tenure.
So I got tenure now. Hey, Pacific Union, I'm about to go crazy.
Now you're gonna let it fly.
I got tenure.
X-rated on the next album.
It's all gonna be X-rated. No, I'm just kidding. But like, it's just an interesting position to be in, and I don't expect anybody to understand that or to even care. That's my choice. That's my journey. You know what I'm saying? As far as other artists, but it's just that's my path. Like I just careful about when I say things, what I say. And being strategic.
Yeah, I can totally understand that because I used to be a teacher. I taught at Eureka High. I have a credential. I taught for 3 years at Eureka High, and coached and Winship and coached soccer. And I've left teaching for the time being. I just wasn't liking it, and now I'm doing construction with my brother, which was always like my second job because my dad was a carpenter contractor. But I remember that's when we were putting out our albums. I was a teacher back then, and I was so much more conscious about my lyrics and more a little bit. I kind of censored myself because of the exact same things you're talking about. Because I'm thinking of the parents, and I'm thinking, and I'm thinking of the administrators, and to me, it's been a little bit liberating not being a teacher, and I feel like my writing's gotten better since then, actually, because I'm more free, But now you got that tenure.
but also like just to kind of branch over like to like the opportunity in that, because I gotta shout out Bill Funkhauser right now, Stacy Young, Humboldt County Office of Education, because they've supported me. Jan Schmidt, I don't know if she's gonna listen to this, Ron Perry. So I had administrators. I came up in Eureka City School, so I worked after school programs there. I became after school coordinator. I did summer camps. I did the Fresh Voices music program. Brian Millett. So I was doing hip hop with kids. We put on singing competitions, shows. We got kids opening up at the Blue Lake Casino for like J-Book. Fresh Voices. Like, so Brian Millett,
some nerd.
Like, he moved, but he was such an asset here, City of Eureka. So like, I was the Department of Recreation before I was a teacher. And we created the teen program. We took a building at Cooper Gulch, the skate park is there, and we used a little room there. It was a studio, and it was a teen program. We did different kind of things, but I ran the music, the studio, writing, and but when I got involved with teaching, they already knew. So the administrators, right, like they supported me, and I always used hip hop in the classroom, like to teach concepts and things. And then so Bill Funkhauser became like the art grant master. Like, he gets money and grants for bringing arts into education. He's all about really changing education and making it work and meaningful for students. So it's like we got big things going on, like big changes in education. But he supports me. He's like, I'm doing a series right now, Making Thinking Visible. It's a 4-song series. I just recorded all the songs after you left the other night. Mm-hmm. I laid them down. I'm working on the videos, and I'm working on doing this Acting Right with this Focus 5 educational consulting group. So I'm making money writing educational songs, but I am a teacher, so like I use these songs, and I like it's genuine. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm being corny. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the fine line, and it sounds dope. His stuff is very effective teaching material.
So it's like a niche.
Sick. Like,
nice.
No one else doing it like that. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so I make it an opportunity. Being an educator and an MC, to me, that's opportunity, but not just for me to like. I mean, obviously, I'm making songs that teachers could use to benefit students, right? And it's like that's paid work for me. But being in school it's all about giving kids a platform. I gotta say, as a teacher in Eureka, like I've had students come through there. I validate them when they rap, when they rhyme. I'm like, hell yes. We're freestyling in my room on lunch. I write songs with them. I make music videos with kids at the school. We will put on concerts, and like the administration at Zane, Trevor, I don't know if you're gonna listen to this, but like letting us set up once a month the PA system. I had a portable stage I bring out, and we would throw down.
That's so cool, Zach. I didn't know that you did that.
Oh yeah, I got like Rowdy. I had brunch with Rowdy today.
And
I
you know
still
Rowdy?
connect with these.
I've heard of
these.
Okay, Rowdy is crushing it, and he's a young gun.
Yeah, he's 18. He dropped out high school when he was in 10th grade to pursue hip hop, and his mom was supporting him. He was going down to LA, and he was recording, and like I said, we just connected today. We had a brunch, just talking about he's releasing an album right now, and he talks about just how grateful he was that I just validated him and I got him to rap on stage before, at our hip hop show we did at the end of 8th grade. And he was real nervous because he's like, I got haters out there, this and that. I was like, dude, I could tell how much you care about this and your song is dope. And like we're putting on a hip hop show, like you're getting on that stage.
This kid's level, his maturity level of his lyrics is
Rowdy, I say you got to get Rowdy on this podcast.
Yeah, you should get him on. Yeah.
You got to get Rowdy on this podcast. He's a real, genuine, really cool dude, and he's had a lot of experience in LA with stuff, and he's really grown from that, and he's really just on a path with it. But giving these kids a platform, validating them, and like pushing them forward. Another like Louis, I don't know if you know Not Louis. He's like a TikTok famous. And he's disabled and he works that to his advantage. Yeah. Like he makes fun of it in a way, and he's a rapper, and he works with Corey Goldman. Shout out to Corey. He runs the Mars Project. They have a studio. Mars Project has a studio for teens up through 26. Yeah, it's a great resource in the community for young people who want to get involved in hip hop, who don't have money, don't have a studio. Connect with Corey. So Louis hit me up one day because he was rapping with me back when he was in 6th grade. And when in high school, he's like, Mr. Lehner, I want to record. Where do I go? I was like, Louis, I don't have it set up. We're not doing the team program right now. Like that. Yeah, I was like, talk to Corey at the Mars. So I called Corey. I said, Corey, Louis needs to do that. What does he need to do to get in there? Such and such. I just saw Corey at Sequoia's wedding a couple weeks ago, and he said he's still working with Louis. He's like, thank you so much for bringing him to me. I love Louis. This kid is amazing. And
man,
like that's my happiness. That's my legacy right there. Like just seeing,
Zach brought Gift the Gab to Zane. And did a full length assembly for all his kids. Gift the Gab before he passed. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
That's how we also got him on our album.
Oh man.
Because Zach made that connection. Well, your brother made the connection, and then you.
Well, it's Open Optics.
Yeah.
It's, my buddy Eric is a really dope, just DJ, big in the hip hop scene in San Diego, and he's friends with Tim, with Gift of Gab. So Gift of Gab was coming up for the show. So I say, hey Eric, can you give me Gab's number? I want to see if he would come to the school, because through the art grant that Bill Funkhauser was, we had money. I knew we could,
pay him.
I got the okay, so I sent him a text, Gift of Gab. Say, hey, Gift of Gab, I'm a teacher out here coming up. I just wondering if you'd be curious, interested to come to our school and maybe do some songs. Calls me back instantly. My phone rings like within a minute.
Wow.
I was like, hello, and I'm talking. He's like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. Like, what's the deal? I'm like, okay. So that's how I met Gift, and he's one of my biggest influences. Like when I first got into writing raps, I was listening to Blackalicious all the time. Like even we performed one of their songs in my first band. Like we did a cover of a Blackalicious tune, and so when he came up, that True Astro DJ's a 6th grader. In front of, so he was in my drama class at the time, and he's like, Mr. Lehner, can I do a rap when Get the Gab is here? I was like, yeah, man, show me. So we did a fast rap. I was like, nice. I was like, yes, absolutely, like you're doing that. And this kid Brave in front of 7th graders, 8th graders, man. That's why I know this kid's going to make it. He's going. I believe in him.
They're the toughest crowd.
Oh, yeah, they are the toughest crowd. They broke me in teaching.
Yes.
Oh. Dude, I've never seen 6th graders rap in front of the whole school until that year. Caleb and DJ would do it. They would get the first ones on the mic at lunch freestyling and
valuable.
stuff. And DJ raps in front of the whole school. He's Gifted Gab's doing questions. He goes, hey, can I do this verse? And I just check in with DJ real quick. I'm like, remember we talking about just like don't go too fast, right? Just make sure you just say every word. You got this. Like, boom. And then, I mean, I got the whole thing on video, but he rips this verse, and just the school goes wild. And Gab, just getting to create that context and situation where this 12-year-old can be affirmed by Gifted Gab in the whole school because he had one teacher who would listen to him rap and let him rap in class. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what I'm doing.
That's real.
That's what I'm doing.
That's what's up, man.
That's what's
Respect
up.
that.
And so that keeps me hungry to keep doing good with my music because it's like, hey, if my shit's popping off, then like the kids know, like, hey, Zig Zilla ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Mr. Rainer.
That hits me in the heart.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Like,
Cheers.
So,
Yeah.
Area Sound, like that's
what it
that's
is.
who we are, man.
We started as teachers, you know. Now we're dads, and we just keep it moving, you know.
Oh yeah, I think just like a quick note on that too, because we both became dads near the same time and have 2 kids, so we really haven't been doing much.
Long time off.
Like having kids really was like took over from doing
that stuff
music
seriously.
So it's like it may seem like we're not that active or what are these guys doing? But man, we're always working on.
Well, I think we dropped Squeeze the Elephant, and that came out that was like after like a 7-8 year hiatus of doing it. Like, I mean, we were doing stuff. You put out some solo stuff, and I
put out mixtapes.
Yeah, and we recorded some stuff, but I was really kind of out of it. I wasn't doing
just like we stopped doing shows.
Yeah,
like
we stopped doing shows.
We had a dope hip hop band, actually, his Area Sound, like Object Heavy, right?
Shout out to Children of the Sun.
Children of the Sun,
Drew Moore, Chase the Roo.
Their first bass player was our bass player,
Andrew Zivarina.
Andrew Z.
Drew Moore,
he's a singer on some of their songs too. Drew was a dynamo.
We were having so much fun as a hip hop band. I gotta say right now, just Lauren Nicole, she's going by. Like she was always there for me, supported, and she also sang on our songs and like would be there and show up at the practices. That crew, but I mean, it was fun, man. Area Sound was like be live band putting on shows in hip hop, getting good turnout. So like bands would come through, they'd be like, oh yeah, dude, let these guys open for you. And then like my wife got pregnant. Drew which is awesome. We were going for it. Drew ended up kind of moving out of the area.
I started teaching full time.
We missed you, Drew.
That's what really took time. When I was teaching, got me stressed out, and I was just like, hip hop was kind of like back burner. I was trying to get my career in order, not really having that much success.
It was kind of rough years for Steamer, and then I'm like, I got my job teaching because I've been doing the after school stuff.
Mid-year.
I got my job teaching about a month after my son was born, and then I ended up buying a house. It just fell, program for first-time home buyers. We're right in the winters. Everything opened up, so I ended up like becoming a teacher, having a son, and buying a house like within a year. This year, I had been like working at a camp as a naturalist, like living in a yurt in Mendocino, like, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't have expected. Big life change. So like that, like life caught up, and so Area Sound has been, we've been raising kids.
Yeah, we've been raising
you know what kids. That is, right?
Yeah,
you know what that. How many kids you have, David?
2. Yeah.
So do we each. So,
and it's crazy because having kids kind of reignited my desire to just start writing again and get back on it. First camping trip we ever took our first kid on, Malaya was 3 months old, and my brother and his wife had their son Rio. He was 6 months old. We went and we were down probably like next weekend, around that time of year, September, right when the kids had gone back to school. We went down and we were down at Away in Petrolia camping, and that's where me and my brother came up with the melody and the hook for Glamorous Lifestyle.
Glamorous Lifestyle.
Every time.
And so we were
Every
just, kids are shitting
every
everywhere,
time
nobody's
it's
sleeping,
blowout.
like, you know how it is when you got
used to it.
Yeah,
dude.
it's Glamorous Lifestyle.
And that's, we started just singing that. It's a glamorous lifestyle, and that's where we conceived the idea for that song. And then that I was like, dude, we gotta make that a track, because my rationale was, we are the first generation of parents who grew up their whole lives appreciating hip hop, whereas before hip hop was always kind of like a thing for the kids.
Right.
We were like the kids that grew up, so we loved hip hop our whole lives. So I figured there were so many people my same age
having kids,
loving hip hop, and then so that song would speak to them. That's who I was going for, and it worked out good. And that was kind of like what got the ball rolling for our latest album, the Squeeze the Elephant album.
Squeeze the Elephant, yeah.
And then, we got to work.
And so, we put that music video, and when it came out, it really blew up the day we put it out. We're like, wow, the thing got like 6,000 views the first day. We're like, okay, people were loving it. Moms were sharing it in their freaking mom groups.
Yeah. It was all over the place.
We're like, all right. Yeah, it was, no, so that's how we came back on the scene. But then the pandemic hit, so it was like, we were all shows. You know that.
We were gearing up. We wanted to start getting back into live shows. We were pumped. We had this killer new music. At this point, his brother was fully established in the industry and connected us with the Grouch, and he's on our first song.
And I had connected with Gifted Gab
and Zach, and then we got Scarab on there because his brother works with Scarab a lot down in LA.
Yeah, he's homies with Scarab and Eli of the Living Legends, so they collaborate often, I'd say, throughout the years.
Yeah, they've got quite a few tracks.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it came together. Your brother had no idea we even had any material, and he came up to visit.
I flew him up.
No, but remember when we showed him? It was the time before.
When we showed him,
we're like, hey, Gabe, we got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's been years, but
on your beats, I don't even know if you remember these beats, but here we go. We just rattled off a bunch of songs for him. I remember,
right.
And he's like, oh shit, let's do this.
And so my family, my wife is she's Japanese. She's from Japan. My kids are they got family in Japan, so they were. I don't know. I may have gone to Japan with them, but I came back early to work. They stayed, so it's like Martin Luther King Jr. weekend that like in January.
Yep.
And my wife and my kids were gone, and I have this
studio,
and I flew my brother up.
And he brought his preamp up on the plane.
3 days. We recorded our whole album pretty much.
Leanne,
in 3 days.
In the meantime, our second kid was born 5 months before Leanne started nursing school that year. And
4 months.
Yeah.
It's 4 months when I started school.
January, Leanne is in the middle of her first semester of nursing school.
Yeah, which is brutal.
And we are stressed out as hell.
No money.
We're broke.
Two kids.
And we got and Gabe came up and we busted that album out in 3 days.
It's a hit, Squeeze the Elephant, because it was like, at least trying to squeeze the elephant.
And you guys have to
straw with this. We can just to make this album happen. We're so busy.
Wasn't that a Jeff Hinton?
We did it.
You got shout out to Jeff
Hinton had said we were drinking
around the campfire, backpacking.
He's responsible for that album title.
And he said something we were talking about. It's like trying to squeeze the elephant through it. Let's do a fucking straw, and it's just kind of stuck with me. I was like, man, sometimes it feels like raising kids, teaching dude, to make time to this music, because the passion's always there in writing, but to really all the energy and having to promote it and just this and that, it's like, man,
the time to do it,
to get us all coordinated on the same page.
And then if you look at the cover art on that album, which was done by Lucas Thornton. You know Lucas Thornton?
I've heard of his name, yeah.
Marble Muralette mural, the new courthouse mural.
Oh, wow.
He's another guy I grew up with, Myrtletown, represent, and Zane Middle School all the way through. He's a brilliant artist, and he donated that album art. I said, Luke, you think you can do this? And he just busted that out and gave it to us. And nah, man. And so he gave us a solid on that one, man. And Lucas is near and dear, man. He's a homie from way back. He even makes all my brother and I surfboards. He's a surfboard shaper, killer artist. I mean, you can see that new courthouse one.
Yeah.
Who knew? So much talent coming out of
So
Humboldt
much.
County.
And that's locals too. That's not people coming from out of the area.
Again, I mean, that's what keeps motivating me again to do more art and keep it going. Is that like I have so much respect for the artists. And when you're an MC, like, yes, collaborate with other MCs, but you have to, graphic designers. I had Jim Woglam, who's an art professor at HSU. He did my album. I have a solo album coming out. It's like when you're producing music and content, and you get to work with other artists who you love and respect. Like, to me, you get to participate in this culture of art. And it's like, heck yes, please. Like,
Julia
keep it going.
from Epitome Gallery, she was in my teaching credential program at HSU too. This place is just like full of talent.
It's like the more we can work together,
didn't teach
collaborate,
either
have a reason to get stuff popping off, the better. Like, it's good for everybody. Holds us accountable. Gives you reason to show up, come out. Like, that's why every local artist who's putting out music, I mean it truly, deeply. Like I love when you put music out, seeing you do your thing, and when it's good, when it's successful, when it's like you're on point with it, like that's beautiful. Like, I might be competitive in the way where it's like lyrically, like I'm going to try to just be a beast every time, but when it comes to like supporting and just loving like other artists, like it's all love. Like, I want to see Humboldt hip hop like get exposed. That's why we're here.
Yeah,
that's why you're doing it.
You're
so
doing it.
David,
dude, I don't even care if I get exposed. I just want all those other guys who are working their asses off to, like, they deserve credit, man.
Dude, like Highway, that dude is a workhorse, man. Like,
Knack One, are you kidding me? Like, those guys, he's been doing it forever. I remember seeing him with like his niece or something at Eureka High at like a battle of the bands.
When I first came up here, I would see Knack just absolutely demolish stages. I'd just be like, dang.
Yeah, that guy was like, wait a second, he lives in Eureka?
It's like, okay. It's like, all right. So like to be seen by Knack is like cool for me, just like, okay, just to be accepted.
That's what I'm saying, me too. Because I mean, I'm growing up, I would see Eli and Mika's son. Seeing those guys at all those festivals in Soham, they were crushing it way back, and I never thought I'd ever be like and it's like just to be on the same table where those guys probably sit. And I don't know if they've done a podcast.
Yeah, man,
yet.
we're blessed to be here.
But seriously, man,
Eli did a podcast.
I remember when Eli's album.
We're getting Mika's son soon. Bro.
Cool, I remember when Eli put out the Elysian album when he was a teenager. I think I had that CD. I was bumping that. I didn't know him or anything.
And I got that when I moved
this is coming out at Soham,
right?
Yeah.
It's so dope. We were talking on the last podcast. Ian brought up that. It's so cool that that you guys are in education, because Ian brought up the fact that like Humboldt County compared to the rest of the state has like double the amount of like ACEs, adverse childhood events.
Right. Oh yeah.
And so like with that being said, well that's horrible and that's a struggle for the children.
Right.
I think something that comes out of it is a lot of people that struggle get that into their art.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And when they get that out,
it's your outlet.
Feel it. Yeah.
Absolutely. It fuels a passion.
I think that contributes to the beautiful landscape of dope artists around here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, sorry to say that it's coming from strain and pain.
Yeah, but it's making something beautiful, like, to pimp a butterfly shit, and having the more that there is a community of artists and there's a scene, a hip hop scene like you are building up, then these voices, these kids, these people have an outlet to participate and turn their life into something else, to process their trauma through their art, but to have a scene, people who like validate you and see you and give you like a spot, like that's like having a healthy culture, like keeping it going, like that's for the next generation to tap into,
Yep.
It's huge up here. The kids need it. Like back to that idea, just giving the kids an outlet,
Shout out to you for doing
like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do my part. And I gotta say, like, of all the work I've done with kids, doing the Fresh Voices music program, where we're getting to work on hip hop songs with kids, it was the most fulfilling. I think because the kids were truly passionate, who wanted to be there, and those relationships, it changed my life and changed theirs.
That's the same.
Yeah.
When I worked those 5 years under Simona for the GRIP program and the multicultural club at Eureka High, like that changed my life. If I could get that job paying me more than $12 an hour, I would want to be still doing that. I couldn't figure out a way to raise a family and support kids in that realm, but that's where my heart is. My heart is not in the classroom as an academic teacher. That was just the only way I could use my degree to make a living, and I didn't. I thought, and I thought I could do it, and then I got into it, didn't like it, but. My heart has always been in that, like behind the scenes, not like classroom teacher, but still working with the kids, because I feel like that's where I could be real, like 100%, and not have to deal with anything else, and just focus 100% on the kids. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And I've never been able to find that again perfectly, but I've always got my feelers out because I want to get back into more of that style of work. I don't know if I'll ever be like a classroom teacher again. Although I'm going to keep that credential always in back pocket. I'll never let that go. But that's my goal, is to somehow get back into working with the youth locally. Because I liked it. I like working I used to work for the community schools also in the juvie and in like some of the other ERC and
night basketball.
Yeah, night basketball program we used to run down in Zobarnum. Every Friday, Saturday night, packed with kids from the Southwest Eureka. That gym would be packed, and we just run games all night, and then we bring them home, make sure they get there safe.
How could you not want to have babies with this man?
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's a good question. You looked at him?
I was gonna say, you guys are doing what parents think about, and some don't think about, but they think that they need to have in the community. People supporting the kids on this level and having outlets for their art. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of money spent per capita on art in Humboldt County, but that's where there's a lot that happens for adults. You know what I mean? There's a lot that happens for kids too, but there's only so many outlets.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like creative outlets. So shout out to you guys for having promoted creativity and art in schools. So
that's what's up.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what's up. And I mean, I think that's kind of the glue that helped area sound together. In the early days, that's why I knew. I was like, yeah, Steamer. He's a real one. He gets it. And this dude, I was like, yeah, we're good. On that level of trust and respect and philosophy. Just that, area sound, man.
No, for sure. It's just now I need. It's like. When I first started, I wasn't as good of a rapper, but I was definitely backing up my talk because I was
with the action
with the kids every day, all day. Now I need to get back to that. It's like my rapping's got better, but I need to get back in with the kids a little more because I've gotten raising my own kids. I'm not in as deep now with the youth as I used to be, but I want to be. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so we'll see. I have plenty of time, and yeah, that's the goal. Eventually.
That's what's up.
Yeah. I really respect what Nakwon's doing with his family. Yeah. It's like putting music together with his kids. That is so cool, man.
Yeah, and there's always a need for more, and always have this kind of dream of maybe the kids might be a little bit older, and maybe just I'm in a better position to. Because teaching's a lot of work. To be a good classroom teacher, I'm teaching sixth grade.
I'd say it's an art to be a good classroom teacher. It is an art in itself. And
I'm really big on the arts in the classroom. So bringing the arts in. There's visual arts too, performing arts. We do spoken word, but we'll do stage combat, sword fights, and really big into the performance art because I think when kids. Have to perform in front of an audience, it builds a kind of confidence. You can't fake that assignment any other way and get that same lesson. But on that level, like I still dream, like, and I know that Julia, the Epitome Gallery, is talking about the like Hip Hop Congress coming to Humboldt. Just being able to create a little bit more of a platform. I know we're coming out of COVID and stuff, but just to get that going again, where I get to work with kids more specifically on hip hop and performance and putting on shows. And you know, like I've done it before, like I want to do it again. I'm raising my babies right now. That's like first and foremost. But you know, as I'm gonna keep living and being in Humboldt County, like you're gonna see things happen.
That's what's up.
You know, so.
You know, it reminds me, and I'm not, comparing people or nothing like that, but I really like seeing the people in this community that like give themselves on that level, whether it's to the kids or otherwise. Like another person like we were talking about is Brian Swislow, right? Just consistently working with artists, just going out there, making music, making it happen for the community. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And like people don't see the time involved in that. Mm-hmm. Like there's like hours involved with and calls and all the things you guys got to do to make a show happen, to make something happen where people can get put on. You know? Right.
And I gotta like give a shout out to City of Eureka for allowing us to do that.
Yep.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Did you have any other questions in mind? Like,
man,
I was wondering where this conversation would go, and I'm digging it so far.
Yeah, great, man. It's good.
Yeah, good. I was just gonna say, like, really, just whatever music and stuff you guys have, like, on the horizon, kind of thing.
We've got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, like we could get into that.
We just recorded. I recorded four tracks last Saturday at your house.
Last week at my house.
We get together once every month or two and record. It's tough. Like time, but we're always working on something. We got one track with both of us with Dirty Rats, then I'm on a couple more. I don't know which projects it'll end up on because they do a million at once.
Neighbors with GMG.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, and so
shout out to GMG and the Dirty Rats.
Absolutely,
right? Those guys,
all those guys, man. There's another. Before I was ever rapping, I've been to a Dirty Rats show, and I knew about the Dirty Rats like when I was younger, and they've been holding it down for so long, and it never stopped. So much respect for that, because I know those dudes are all busy. They all got kids. They're all good dads, and they all got different jobs and shit, and it's like they never stopped. And and I don't know. This is how my life is dominated by like positive coincidences, and when I moved into my house, like I said, I look across the street and I see like Calder Callis going in one day, and then I figure it out and I'm like, man, is that GMG? That's my neighbor? I didn't know him, But then I just happened to buy a house right across the street from Gabe Gerber, GMG, and struck up a conversation, and now we're recording together. And
I taught his son when he was in 6th grade. I remember he gave me like one beat back then. I just had a daughter, and like we never really collaborated at then. It was just like I wasn't really like put out music at that time, but just having that connection and feel, like with the Dirty Rats and with GMG, just like, hey, we're all just dads low in the community and just respecting each other, and so it's really just dope to have got to work on a track with the Dirty Rats.
So on that note,
really
go off about the Dirty Rats. I grew up watching Franco battle on the field against my brother, and it was the funniest thing in the world because Franco's this tough ass little feisty soccer player, but he was tiny. My brother was the biggest dude in Humboldt County, like on the soccer field, and he and Franco used to go head up on the soccer field when we were down here watching. That was so funny. And grew up knowing Franco because he was always mouthy and like and basketball and soccer, and then Callis grew up playing baseball and basketball with my brother. It's like everyone's connected around here.
For real.
Yeah. For sure.
So something that I've wanted to do since around the time my son was born, with Humboldt County is just like hip hop. But I kind of just the idea has been on hold, and then when I got this one beat, and I was like, let's do it on this. I wanted to do it like this kind of just epic song where it's just like no hook, just like vary the beat and just different voices, just different styles.
Showcase all the styles.
And obviously you can't get every dope MC from Humboldt on one track. It's just too many. But we've been collecting verses from like we got one from Knack One. We got one from Callus from the Dirty Rats.
Professor Funk.
Professor
Did
Funk.
Sick.
Ruffian. Laid one down. Johnny
Sequoia.
Angel. Sequoia. Did I say Professor Funk?
Yeah, I did.
I said that. Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
And
So that's in the works.
anyway, that's fun. So yeah,
We're trying to get everybody. Yeah, we get the beat. Rude, those guys have the beat. We're waiting for that one.
Is this the posse cut that Ian was talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He was like, I'm not sure if I should let you guys know about this.
It's gonna be a good one.
It just the thing is like I say, I'm a real just true fan of our hip hop scene up here, and I just thought, how dope is that if you could get these different voices. Some of these voices are really dope
So
and
good.
distinct. And just to get to hear that like on one track, it's actually I don't know if you're familiar with the Luminaries, but they're a crew from LA, but they did a song called Illuminate. And it's 3 of them, but then they had 8 features on it. And I heard that track and I was like, this is dope. Like it just goes on for a while, but everyone's style is so different. I was like, yeah. I want to hear just like a Humboldt MCs.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to hear a collection of
Well,
these
then with
voices
and it's going to be on a
on the track,
930
so.
production. It's going to be class, like high quality, you know. So
Right.
it's going to be a good one.
So and then we we've recorded. We got a handful of songs that we've recorded that
We've
are
got
going to
it.
be getting like mixed and working on probably in the in this next chunk, like following up this year. Probably won't be released till next year.
Zach's got a 10-song solo album.
But yeah, I've got like this is a big moment for me because I put out mixtape. I counted it up. I put out 10 projects since I started.
Damn.
But it's like SoundCloud or was just a CD or mixtape. Like as far as being on all the platforms and officially like presenting myself like as Zigzilla on like you know how it is, like all the platforms. You upload once, it goes to everything. Like I don't really exist as a solo artist. Now I put out 2 songs this year for these. They were these NFT themed songs, and they've been fun,
right?
dude. Those songs. I mean, a whole goal of that was undeniably dope music. Even though the for NFT projects don't mention the word NFT, just whoever hears it, it's just dope. But whoever does like the NFT project, it will get all the references. It'll blow their minds.
Yeah.
So like those did well, and that gave me exposure to a lot of people in different areas who wouldn't know me, right? Because the NFTs, I was surprised. Like that Krypton Goons track came out, and like Thailand was like one of my biggest countries for like weeks. And I was like, I don't know who's in Thailand is bumping this or into this NFT project, but so that was a really strategic move before releasing my solo album, putting out a couple tracks for these NFT projects, just for some exposure. So hopefully that helps when I do start dropping. It's September 30th, the first track is going to drop, and we're going to do just every 2 weeks, just releasing as singles until at some point we just put out the whole album. And that was like the pandemic, like Christmas, something of my brother's gift for me was a batch of beats. And I got into like this running meditation. I think I ran like 60 days in a row, like going on jogs. And I write in my head usually.
He's
like
one of
not
those
on
guys
paper.
that doesn't write on paper. He writes it all in his head.
Keeps it in his head.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I'll
I
record
don't
it
do
on my
that.
voice memos. So like this collection of beats, just like not seeing many people, like teaching on Zoom. I just worked on these songs, and I ended up with this collection of songs that I'm really proud of. I think it's my favorite like work that I've done as a solo artist. Like I listen to it and I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with this. Like I'm proud of this music. Like I'm ready to launch this out. So so that's coming. Zigzilla, Creature from the Stone Lagoon. Starts dropping September 30th. So I'm excited. And once that gets rolling, I can focus on like this area sound and this other music. It'd be just so good to get that wrapped up.
It's always been my problem is I can't keep up with this guy. So he's got to do a 10-song solo album before I get my next few things in a row because he's just prolific.
Well, I was in that chunk that time I was doing the run. I was just writing, and so I would just get 3 verses on this thing and have a whole song. I'd be like, so I was like, I need to do a solo album here. I just needed to just kind of stretch out as an artist and just explore different styles and yeah, so it's ready.
Yeah.
It's ready. And that's Nine Theory. That's, producing all the tracks on it. So
Nice.
yeah, it'll be on Shodo Records. That's his label. And yeah, man, it'll be in the world. We'll see how it does.
Little features on that, a couple features. Keep those on.
Yeah, just a couple features, mostly just kind of like a solo thing. But there's one track where it's like very specifically, we're like, we need this MC and this MC, like they need to do the verses on this. So got a couple dope features.
Serious.
Hey, you know what? We're still waiting on some things. So. Anyway,
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, I think you dig it, man. Like I said, we'll see what people think.
I've heard a bunch of it. Yeah. I like it all, but I'm kind of biased. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Nah, and I don't have much of a solo career. Zach's got a lot more solo.
Well, then I got like a children's album that I've been working on for a couple years, but I had put that on hold.
Cardboard Nation.
He did Cardboard Nation,
Chocolate
getting hardcore
Shop.
with my cardboard sword, made a cardboard fort underneath my carport. But and then educational stuff I'm working on. Like I say, I'm doing projects. I always have like a lot going on at once, but like just to get my solo thing out, then I can get back to some of these other projects. And that way I just have a thing. It's like Zigzilla. It's just like raw, just me doing it. It's not educational. It's not for the kids, It's just like, hey, here's my thing. Like I'm out there. Like I say, if I'm out there and I'm doing it, it gives me more opportunity to collaborate and work with more artists.
Yep.
And just to keep progressing and keep getting better. So as long as like my main goal is like I have to love what I put out and be proud of it. So when it's ready, it's ready. Doesn't matter if it takes 2 years, 10 years, 15 years. Time is neutral.
Let's not go 15.
It's like, I'm saying like I like to be productive, but I'm saying it's got to be right. That's the most important thing. I'm not just trying to rush to get something out to create hype.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're so chill. I want the music.
I've got no illusions of ever making money off of music, so it's like.
And that gives you guys some freedom too, though.
That's right.
Absolutely. Like creative freedom on the
That's
level.
right.
Don't
have to like please you or this or that. It's like we just do what we want to do.
It feels really good to put out music when it's done. It's cool. Yeah, I got a one track I'm working on with the guy I was telling you about, Nath McQueen down in LA, my high school buddy who moved down there. During COVID, when we had to watch George Floyd, I usually don't do solo stuff, but I wrote a full 3-verse with a hook track in my response to that, what happened, and I'm working on that. I've got it all recorded, and I'm seeing what he does with it. He's going to produce it. It's on one of his beats. Okay. It's not on one of Gabe's beats, but it's like one of the strongest songs I think I ever wrote, but it's just because it completely came out of like raw emotion when that happened, and I've never even shown it to anybody. I don't think, I've never done it live or anything, but around the campfire.
But some art that's really exclusive.
And well, it's funny. You never know how people are gonna react. So you're like coming, and so you're responding to a huge, very important event, and it's very volatile. So it's like whatever you say, you kind of like want to make sure it's exactly how you want to say it. Yeah. And it's like I never want to be preaching to the choir. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this song is for like. It's for white people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not preaching to a choir. I was like, everybody knows this, but except you guys. And take it from me, I look like you. Like, listen to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you should try rethinking this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Because right now it's just like there's a line in the sand, and they're not. Certain people aren't crossing that line, and if anything, they're running the other way. You know what I'm saying? It's like. And so I'm trying to make some common ground, I'm like, it's like I want to rap that. I want to rap that on the mic, like just so I could show you and like maybe put out some clips of it, just to get a taste if people like it,
Yeah.
Would that be cool?
Absolutely.
All right, no beat, acapella.
Yeah.
You cool with that?
Yeah, man.
I don't want to steal the mic.
All right,
Take a breath. Get it.
It said, you didn't see me on the street saying fuck the police. I was at home with my 2 kids tucked in the sheets, juggling, parenting, quarantine, witnessing a horror scene unfold every day. It's getting more obscene. Real life, live stream, legacy of slavery. We spiced up our history, made it more savory. Rich white men always demonstrate bravery, and making money's easy when the labor's free. Favor for a favor, black bodies were commodities for centuries. If slavery set the table, how could freedom be the centerpiece? They didn't know it was wrong to separate a baby from its mom. That's deranged, but then again, not much has changed. That's why so many inner cities going up in flames. You don't need to go to college for the knowledge that the greatest human tragedies have never been officially acknowledged with apologies. And if you shook like me, you always understood the reason Cap took that knee. Black people in America are not yet free. Go ask Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. And if you shook like me, you always understood the reason Cap took that knee. Black people in America are not yet free. And the cop that murdered George Floyd looked like me. I didn't choose to be American or choose to be white. I could choose to do the right thing, listen to spite. Being blind doesn't always mean losing your sight. Being white doesn't always mean unusually bright. So I'm speaking to the man in the cruiser tonight. Most Def said beef is what you do in a fight. Ask yourself who's in the wrong and who's in the right. Either way, you're sure to shatter the illusion tonight. Before you pepper spray your own people, check your own ego. Reflect upon the fact your ancestors used to own people. Serve and protect cannot mean condone evil. Earn their respect, disown your own people. Yet the perspective that we're lacking today is the fact that you were slave catchers back in the day, chasing black runaways, looking back in dismay, and you weren't strapped with half the gas you pack in today. And if you shook like me, you always understood the reason Cap took that knee. Black people in America are not yet free. Go ask Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. If you shook like me, you always understood the reason Cap took that knee. Black people in America are not yet free. And the cop that murdered George Floyd looked like me. Stating Black Lives Matter isn't hating the cops. We've been way too patient waiting for the hating to stop. Unarmed black kids shot and the cases drop. You're more dismayed by some looting at the place you shop. You don't face discrimination on the basis of race, yet you're quick to get defensive when you face the topic. Not debating over if you're racist or not. That merit-based shit, it's basic and rotten. Instead of threatening over damage to the TJ Maxx, you should humanize your view and re-examine the facts. Black schools lack revenue from property tax. The war on drugs, race-based plan of attack. Keep the private prisons packed with Hispanics and blacks, and you can claim you're colorblind till the planet collapse. You get a 3-lap lead in the mile of life, in denial of the everyday trials and strife. And if you shook like me, you always understood the reason Cap took that knee. Black people in America are not yet free. Go ask Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. And if you shook like me, you always understood the reason Cap took that knee. Black people in America are not yet free. And the cop that murdered George Floyd looked like me.
Hey,
that's what's up.
Respect, man. Killed that.
Dude, yeah.
Man's a writer. He can write.
For real.
Like, we're talking about thesis and like breaking it down. And it's like the rhyme scheme's crazy, but it's just so clear. That's what I always love about Steamer's lyrics. It's just like,
Yeah.
I can clearly follow along.
I've been wanting to get that one on. I've had that on like for a while on deck, and
there you go, man. Now it's out.
It feels
the podcast
it's out,
man.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, man, I want to do that right when we do that podcast. I just want to bust that, like, because I wanted to get that out because I wrote it, recorded it, and it's like I never
been sitting on it for a while.
Sitting on it for a while.
It's been kind of sitting. Yeah,
that's what's up.
That's what's up.
Right on. Yeah, you never know how it's gonna come off. You're at home right now. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man.
But
you can't not just writing, but rapping too, man. I got respect for that.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. It's been dope to see Steamer progress from like our first show, like oh yeah, just like this true solid MC with so much style and like just crushing. Like every time on the mic, it's just like ready, like. We're all about that one take earthquake if we could get it, but yeah, we take it very serious, you know. Like if you're gonna do a show, you know, you're gonna be like you gotta rock the mic. Like I'm all about like the performance.
Teaching and MCing is those are like same level. You know what I'm saying? Teaching every day is MCing. You're in the class. You can't, you're
on the mic.
You're on the mic unless you're a shitty teacher and you're behind your desk. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a real teacher, you're up putting crazy energy in all day long. And all the good teachers are MCs. You know what I'm saying?
Masters of the ceremony,
Yeah.
so to speak.
They
Yeah,
gotta
just
hold it
controlling
down.
the crowd and like keeping it moving,
Yeah.
keeping the energy flowing, getting the response, getting feedback.
Keeping them engaged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I miss that a lot. Like, you know, I can honestly say like doing shows is a completely different part of like every sound what it is, and you know, writing, recording, like nothing else fills that bucket like that we get when we perform, and we've been missing it.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Get a
think
band
it's
together.
yeah.
Band.
No, let's do it. Yeah, like
Where you at,
Anybody?
Andrews Eve
Hey,
Arena?
Anybody?
hey.
Let's make a band.
So yeah, hopefully we kind of get that popping. You know, it's kind of you get momentum of like not doing shows in the pandemic, and we got the kids, and we got soccer practice. It's like there's enough excuse. You can always put things off once you. It's like exercise, right? When you're not haven't done it for a while, it's really easy not to do it, right? When you haven't been booking shows and getting it, it's like really easy to stay in that. But I think ultimately we know that for our happiness and just to continue as artists, that outlet of live performance is pretty critical piece. And just to be an example for our kids too, just to show them like, hey, we could raise you, we could work full-time jobs, be good people, and we could still rock shows. Like, you know, so we're, you know.
Or just do something that you love, like,
And just
you know,
pursue the
you
passion.
Can, yeah. You can be creative. You can have these responsibilities, but you can make time for what really makes you live.
Yeah.
That's right. And while I was talking about being an example for the kids, I got to shout out DJ Tronics, dopest future electronic producer in the world. That's my son.
Yeah,
Kaido,
DJ
my man.
Tronics.
If you ever listen to this podcast, and the Queen Hyena, Hina, she is like my daughter. She's just like the illest freestyle lyricist, comes up with crazy melodies all the time. So like, yo.
I got to shout out Linus
Kids.
and Malaya too then. Oh man, Malaya, future JoJo Siwa,
Oh, yeah.
pop star. Dude, got her ears pierced
Yep.
yesterday.
Poofy Kitty Corn, aka Poofy
Hey.
Kitty Corn.
Oh yeah, Poofy Kitty Corn, that's her pop star name. Yeah. And my boy Linus, the silent assassin, he might not be on stage, but he'll be doing parkour off the top. You
That's
know?
right. So yeah, proper, you know. There we go.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Some real shout outs.
That's what's up. It's
Yeah.
like you guys were talking about earlier. That's something I have respect for Knack One and the Fantastic Family, right? For
Yes.
dropping that knowledge
Yes.
down to
Whew.
your kids, you know.
At a high level,
right.
man.
You know,
They're not
and
messing
see what
around.
Exclusive's doing, and you know.
Oh, so dope.
Took that.
Leanne wrote a track on one of his
Oh,
beats,
yeah.
you know? Like, how dope is
We
that?
just contacted him, so we'll see what comes of it. But I really want to sing on Exclusive's track. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, she
Really
wrote a
excited
beautiful song to one of
Yeah.
on the new one.
But like,
Summer beats.
Knack's legacy cannot be understated what he's doing.
Well,
like,
his dad was a serious musician too, right?
that's right.
Yeah, that
Jazz
song Talking to
musician.
Pops, that's
Yeah.
real.
Yep.
Yeah.
That song is fire.
Not like we're like the Knack experts in here, but I'm just saying.
yeah,
like, I'm
yeah.
just
We
saying-
just love you.
I'm just saying, like, as this Cypher General, being such a dope and formidable MC, his energy could be so different, you know? He could be standoffish or whatever, this and that,
Yeah.
but he's just, that dude is full of love, and he just slays it, and he's just holding it down for the whole community, and just seeing him doing it with his kids, because, you know, like, my son wants to produce, you know, electronic music and stuff. So I'm paying attention to what Knack's doing, and like that's where I want to be with my son in whatever way, shape it takes form. So, you know, Knack, if you're out there listening, man, you're an example for us MC dads out there. Who got, you know, a little bit behind you, and respect.
Yeah.
What's up? Shout out to Knack One and the Fantastic Family.
That's what's
man.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vernacular.
That's right.
That's right, man. So
Dude, Vernacular's keeping that stage lit. They said
I
that
know,
track.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Highway, Eli. Yeah. That's what's
Man.
up.
Good.
Like I said, we haven't collaborated with Highway in a while, but we did a couple tracks with him.
Yeah, go check
early on.
dig into. We got it on
Early,
Spotify. Dig
back
into
in the
that
day.
old one. We got one called Two Sides.
Mhm.
It's I think I love that song personally. It's
Yeah.
everybody hits that theme from a completely different
Two
angle,
Sides, yeah.
and then Highway did the hook. He probably doesn't even remember the song. It was so long ago.
Dude,
You
but
know what I'm
Highway's
saying?
so dope because he was like back then he was just so easy to work with, so down. And even though it's like, yeah, our styles maybe were like a little bit different, this or that, but like we were doing it, and he showed respect to us, and yeah, like just it was just we had a good connection with like Swizzlo, the Red Fox, Highway. That's when I met Flo J back then. He was like new up here.
Oh, yeah, Flo
We
J.
would do these like cypher nights at the Red Fox, and just like I've just always been embraced with love from anytime I've had to interact with like the local legends and stuff like that. So
Yep.
that's been good. Feeding area sound, that like we support each other and like we do our thing, you do your thing, we each have our lane, but like we respect and support each other.
For sure. Yeah, go check out that old stuff of ours, man. Go dig into the archives.
Yeah, definitely. Hell yeah.
For sure. That gymnastics to this day
We were
holds
just
up.
listening to gymnastics, Hope, all that jazz, Get Outside.
Dude,
They just feel so good. Yeah.
It's our old stuff.
Yeah.
I know we used to have the K-Hum used to bump that Get Outside all the, and our
They still play it.
compliment contest.
Yeah.
They still play it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
mad props to Goldilocks, of course, man. He's been giving us
Goldilocks
love on his
is
show.
amazing for the culture.
Oh,
He's
man.
holding it down.
All good vibes.
Shout out to Goldilocks.
Yeah.
Goldilocks, man, straight up.
I just
dude.
want to hug him.
So Goldilocks and I go back to the days of the team program. He would be anytime we needed a DJ, like to support the kids, do an open mic or the skateboard competition. Like that's how I met him. My friend Clark knew him, and he would be there for the kids. Like he would show up to DJ that stuff. So like that's my roots with Goldilocks. Like he's just there for like the community.
And I just love that when I first moved up here from LA in 2004, I was really missing Power 106.
Yeah.
Do you know Power 106?
Oh, yeah.
There was no hip hop on the radio here, and that was
Zero.
like on top of the culture shock, on top of all the rain, trying to get used to that. I'm like, where is my hip hop music around here? So I fully appreciate. Well, and just like the funk, the old school R&B, anything like that. Where is that on the radio here? And so Goldilocks provides all that. And yeah, Wednesday night we always tune in as a
Every night, our
family.
kids, they know it's Wednesday night.
Yeah.
We're listening to Goldilocks.
Yep.
Like
That's dope.
Yeah, they know. It's pretty fun. It's like
Yeah.
a little family tradition. We're gonna be playing it no matter what.
That's so awesome,
Yeah.
man. Shout out to Goldilocks for holding that down for
Yeah.
the community, man.
Hell
That's
yeah.
what's up.
No, it's pretty. Yeah, we didn't. I mean, this area when I grew up, this place was like pretty dry in terms of good hip hop on the radio. You'd hear that whatever they play on Power 96 once in a while, but that's about it. And Goldilocks, yeah, he's like
And then
playing the real stuff.
And then Assad
yeah.
does his radio show
every other Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been getting on that lately.
Yeah.
That's good to have that. I think that Assad's radio show levels things up in Humboldt County just to have an additional outlet. Like
Right.
I'm going to be on Assad's show next month. You guys need to get
Dope.
on there.
Oh, you're getting on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Dope.
He's just putting everybody on, you know what I mean? And that's what I like to see, like people that are going to come in, take a spot like that where you've got an ability to get people's voices out there, and he's actually doing it. He's not
Right.
just going on there and just like,
Oh man.
Right.
focusing on himself or whatever else. And if he did that, that's cool because he's dope.
Oh, he's got
to
it,
have
yeah.
the lane to do so, but
Right.
he's also collaborating.
The conversation
Right.
last week between him and Chemistry was so good. Like
Yeah.
Assad is an incredible conversationalist. I mean, I listened to the podcast, and that's what I was saying about seeing how far, like people. I knew him when he was 16, 17. And now seeing him today
Great.
and listening to him, I'm like, hell yeah, Assad! Like you
Get it.
dude, you own this studio, dude. He holds it down.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really cool. I'm proud of him, man. It's really dope.
Yeah, it's good to see. So good to see.
Yeah.
Well,
It's been
fellas,
good, man. It's been real good.
Oh, I mean, I really appreciate you all three of you coming into the studio and blessing this podcast with your time. Like I tell all the artists, there's going to be, this podcast is going to roll. So
Right,
next
right.
time you guys are ready to come back, we're going to be here for you. You know what I mean? I'm going to
Yeah.
put you guys on, let the folks know about what new music you guys have.
Right.
popping. Let me know.
All right, well, that gives us some incentive to get it popping.
Yeah, let's get it
dropping.
dropping. Keep it
So,
rolling.
I'm waiting
That's
for
what's
September
up.
30th, that first drop.
Hey, that's what's up. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll be all loud again on the social media and all that and stuff. Like you got to do playing that game is.
Yeah, we're not that savvy.
It's something to work on. You always have something to work on.
That social media
Hey.
management thing is like a whole job. That's why people get paid
Straight
to do that
up.
stuff.
That's
you know what I
true.
mean? It's
That's
great.
right.
And then that's one of the things Assad and I were talking about was that social media aspect of like you guys using that to get
Right.
your music out there. It's like people don't necessarily realize too that takes time just to engage on social media.
This takes a
and all
lot
the
of
stuff
time.
You gotta do, like, and that's money. That's you guys' time, you know.
Right. And with the family too, and when the kids are young, it's just time is very precious. You know, not a whole lot of extra time to just like, let me like scroll through my phone and do this and that. So, it's work. It's work when you're releasing and doing that. It's another part of being an artist that isn't the part that I think most artists love the most. Like, hey, shout outs to you if you can love that and find a way to produce content and like it energizes you. Like that's dope. But it could be a drain. So I'm gonna go into it with the intention of creating value for the audience. You know, it's just like that simple. Like, and it takes time to craft a post or put it together, add something with the music and the video clip, but that it's something that might be original or innovative or be valuable. Someone sees it because there's so much noise out there. Because just saying, look at me. That gets old real quick, but if you do it in a stylistic way, like that's a whole art form, you're right, like that's a serious thing that you can develop skills at, and it takes time. So respect to anybody who's on that game. Highway kills it, and he always has. He's been relentless. I have so much respect for him as an artist because I know how hard it is to do that, what it takes to get up every morning and put that attention out there. C. Baker, I don't know, C. Baker's this, but that dude is
works hard.
Stop, just like
Shout
it's beautiful.
out to C. Baker. I need to get him on here too. You know.
Yep. Yeah, you do.
Straight up.
Yeah, we were doing shows way back in the day with C. Baker. We did a lot of little collaboration shows, you know.
That's what's up. I think I got hosted by C. Baker, Area Sound, Children of the Sun, the Red Fox Tavern. Boom. Yeah, C. Baker would be putting on shows. Yeah, this I always like our flyers and stuff we did. I always throw them in this album.
That's his
August 26th.
Well, that's
crazy.
28th.
Oh, is
today?
Today's the 28th. Today's the 28th.
I want to. Yeah, I got
hilarious. That's hilarious,
that
dude.
flyer, like.
Oh yeah, check out the book
for sure.
But also, I want to give a shout out to Nath McQueen down in LA, who just put out a new song and video called "Trappin' in the Free World." It's on all the outlets, and it is top notch, man. You will dig it, and the visual that he brings with it is amazing. Like this guy's another guy who's been working his ass off. He's got like forever, and he deserves some. And he's from here, you know. He's from Ferndale. Grew up Eureka High guy, but he grew up in Ferndale, out in the bottoms. And he deserves some attention. And then my man Grim Beats, he's an up and coming producer who also went to Eureka High, moved to LA, and him and Nate worked together some down in LA. But those are a couple Humboldt County guys that deserve a lot of attention.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nate McQueen and Grim Beats.
So it's Nath if you're looking up his artist name. Nath, Nayth McQueen.
Nath McQueen.
Used to go by School. Used to go by Sour Sauce
This
when he
dude
was
is
DJing up here.
innovative.
Okay. Yeah.
Started with the Dirty Rats.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So yeah, check those guys out on social media and Spotify.
That's what's up.
And what about you guys? Drop your socials.
Oh yeah.
I think it's like Zigzagzilla, but on Instagram, Zigzilla, Facebook. I do not fuck with TikTok yet, but I know that like if I'm smart, I should. Like I get
one
that.
More. It's like another one, you know.
It's another one, but IG tends to be where I'm more comfortable with the platform. It's getting more annoying lately. I keep seeing more ads, and I'm not enjoying my experience on it as much. It's harder to find people what they're doing.
Take note,
but But yeah. If you're on Instagram, like Area Sound Instagram,
it's Area _ Sound.
You know, especially my stuff's gonna be dropping. I'm gonna be trying to get it out there in front of people's eyes, in front of people's ears, because I think it'll bring real value to anybody who loves good music and hip hop.
You stream on Spotify.
It's everywhere. It streams all the streaming. It'll be up. It'll be up on everything. And I just learned that we got to set up that. Can't think of the website, but you can get one link in your bio on Instagram and. you click on that link and it goes to all your other links.
Linktree,
that's what it is. So I'll be hooking that up, and that'll have links to the Spotify and everything I want to link to. So I'm learning the game. Learning the game.
And I'm at Steve Myrtletown, representing my neighborhood.
Steve Myrtletown.
Yeah. Steve Myrtletown. Just how it sounds, I think.
That's what's up.
But
I'm just
a lot of cute pictures of my kids on there.
Yeah. I know it's something to be really conscious of too. Just like, I don't know, my kids are gonna be stoked. They're like sharing too much, this and that. But I know also there's loved ones out there. People want to see the kids sometimes just know we're healthy and good. So just trying to find a good balance,
I feel you, man. My kid, there's going to come a point in time where I'm just going to have to go through and delete all
that.
Yeah,
I know it too.
He's not down with it.
I respect that. Respect that.
Yeah, check that one out. Never Die.
Yeah, we won't have to do this on the podcast, whatever. But just remember this: so with B Swizzlow's Hip Hop Lounge, I don't know, Barrel Alexander, Never Die was hip hop's group with what's dude's name? I can't remember. It was Highway and Chavo. So I can't think of dude's actual name, but just classic.
Jose,
dude.
I think.
Jose?
I think so.
Back in the day, Red Fox Tavern, B Swizzlow, Highway, Area Sound,
That's sick.
It was dope, man.
Shout out to Swizzlow for holding the Red Fox Tavern down for so many years.
Gave us an outlet, man. We didn't have, no one else was like really like jumping on having some new random hip hop group who no one knew about. Like,
who are these dorks?
You know Swizzlow, he's like, oh yeah, you're passionate, you got something going, I will give you a spot at my venue.
Yeah, we can bring people.
I will support you.
Yep.
I will be, I'll be out there with the band. Like,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys, you were doing shows at Humbrew's,
after
Jam,
Red Fox.
Red Fox.
Swizzlow was the first one to put us on up here.
Okay.
And then Pete Ciotti, when he was holding down the jambalaya. But dude, no doubt, Swizzlow's the first freaking owner of a club to put us on and give us a stage up here. So, I mean, for real.
And I think people were always pleasantly surprised with the crowd we brought out.
Yeah.
We could. We
I remember our first show.
It's not your typical hip hop crowd either. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
it's like, we.
Yeah.
If you listen to our music, it's not like the content's not like every other hip hop group. You know what I'm saying? We're being real to ourselves, so it's like we're gonna attract people who are into that. So it's like you might get the same. Same.
Which is who you want to attract too.
Yeah, for sure. And it was always a good party when we were doing live shows.
And I just really appreciate you guys doing this, man. Like, this is a real blessing, not just for me, of course, but for the community to hear you guys, drop your history like this, it's a blessing for the community to have you guys, but then to have it documented, I think that's just like, it's necessary.
Man, I'm
glad you think that, because I don't think there's anyone else putting out the kind of energy towards local hip hop ever that you are doing. Like, you're like breaking ground.
The best thing to happen in the Humboldt hip hop county scene, like since I've been here, like as far as like one element that can benefit everybody, and like boom, like. You are doing it.
You're the glue for hip hop. It's for the culture.
I know, man. That's so much respect for you.
That's tight as hell. Yeah, that's so cool, man. That you're doing it.
I just appreciate y'all. Doing shows, keeping the music going, dude. When I heard that Crypto Goons track, I was like, whoa! Like I had already heard some of your stuff.
Yeah.
But then I heard that, and that was like it was. I don't want to say like a game changer, but you get what I mean. Where like there's like nothing like that, and I haven't really heard like there's been some NFT, like rap songs and stuff like that. People are doing it and everything like that, but like Crypto Goons was dope, and I had never met you, and so I'm like, dude, like this dude sounds fucking dope.
Dude, I like a straight monster if I want to be like the way I can get down. Like I have a range of styles and. I have fun with it.
That was your creature. That was the
Crypto Goons. I get like, I got my werewolf Halloween track, probably, but
man, that crazy one you recorded with Cody back in the day too.
Yeah. But you know, it's like I always had love for those minor key beats, the dark beats, and like, cause we keep it super positive and like upbeat, glamorous lifestyle. But
I have a hard time getting down in the grime.
Just grimy. Just hit a mood.
I just don't feel. I don't feel convincing when I go there, man. I just, you know what I'm saying. So I kind of stay on that.
But Zach's here for us.
Yeah.
You just gotta branch out as an artist. You gotta like express your full like range, palette of like creativity. So sometimes you just feel that way, you know. But I'm never like making up like shit, pretending to be someone I'm not.
No, not at all. No, it's all.
Like, but the energies are like, I'm feeling that mood on that beat. And Krypton Goons was great because it was imagery. It was all imagery. It was like, oh, people who know this NFT and love it, like they will get every reference. So all these cute little characters looking like Mickey Mouse, but they're just carrying chains and swords and bloody knuckles, and it's like, ooh, like I just get it, just like that's fun, just wordplay. The imagery of just brutally just beating you down, you know, but like not, you know, completely based on characters and like repping this brand of this NFT, who by the way, like they just launched with Urban Outfitters like last month in New York. They got Krypton Goons at Urban Outfitters now, and like they're doing big things, you know. They got a vision, so to be a part of that, like honored, blessed.
That's what's
up. Yeah, that's what's up. And the DJ tunes too, I gotta say, just repping it out there, like they, you know, they believed in us and they gave us a chance to do their song. And the DJ tunes, like they
just a bunch of degenerates.
Just a bunch of degenerate tunes. It's all like that. Actually introduced my kids to Looney Tunes. I did that rap for the DJ Tunes NFT, and my kids are like it opened up the doorway to these conversations about all these Looney Tunes and these old cartoons and the history of cartoons and stuff. And
the things our kids wouldn't be exposed to without us letting them know what happened, you know.
Right. I'm like, man, I gotta school. You remember as a parent, like you get them fed, get into bed, but you're like, wait, we gotta school you on like, we got a lot to cover, kids.
For real.
So hip hop's just a good, and music just a good. Like I love exposing my son. He's into music to like old music artists and like, you know, tiptoeing him into the hip hop things as he's like ready to like hear certain lyrics and certain things, and that's one of the best parts, right? Being a parent is like getting to show your kids like the dope.
Yeah, the finer things in life.
What made you who you are.
That's right. That's right. Word. All right, I'm gonna hit it.
All right.
Man, I just appreciate you guys. This was so dope.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you very much, man.
Absolutely.
That was a pleasure. That was.
Thank you.
Yes.
I don't remember the last time I sat down and had a conversation for 2 hours around a table. You know what I'm saying? That's just nice. That's just nice. Yeah. Even if we weren't recording it, it'd still be nice. You know what I'm saying?